Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm really glad to see you. Last week I was closing up the physical shop of the yoga center. I was not teaching online, but it doesn't mean I was lying around. It was a different kind of holiday, but really good to clear stuff out, to have a new chapter in life. So I'm glad to see you here in this yoga studio. Let's sit for a few moments of quiet together. We're going to be exploring, because it's now Pitta season, we're really going to be exploring how do you take care of your Pitta dosha, or how do you take care of your friends and partners who have Pitta as their primary dosha. So please take a comfortable seat, and I'll just tip this down slightly so you can see me in the breathing practice a little bit better. You can rest your hands in your lap. Let your eyes close. And if possible, you can bring a little smile to yourself that really every dosha has its beauties and its difficulties. When it's in balance, every dosha is contributing. When our doshas are out of balance, every dosha is kind of signaling, telling us, oh, something's out of balance. And so I like to recommend that symptoms, whatever our symptoms are little signals, reminders to come back into the pathway that leads to our best self. So when you take a seat here this morning, lengthen up through your spine, and do that as a way to respect that you're stepping into your yoga practice right now. Also try to sense this vertical plumb line that we've been talking about, the central channel. And sit very slightly into the back hemisphere of your body. And then try to also sense this sort of concentric place that your awareness can be very expansive. So you have the central channel and you have the concentric outwards, sometimes called the horizontal plane. And then this is the vertical plane. Try to include that as a sphere of your attention. And if you can sense that your practice this morning is an opportunity to line up in the present moment with wisdom and healing and love and grace, and your practice can also help to heal the retroactive, unhealed stuff. We'll just call that stuff. And it prepares us for what's to come. So when life events happen, the opportunities are seen as opportunities rather than as detours or disappointments or threats. They're seen as opportunities. Notice how your breathing responds to this invitation, and start the Ujjayi breath now so that you can sense the most subtle form of that breath, that you have this central channel and this concentric capacity for attention in all these directions. While you're listening to the sound of the Ujjayi breath, give your entire attention to the sound of the movement of inhale. During the inhale pause, listen for this silence and this kind of concentric expansion of your attention. On the exhale, listen again for the sound of the breath inside. In your exhale pause, rest in the most intimate, the most inward place for attention. So you could imagine your breath during this practice as capable of sort of ushering you or stewarding you to that expansive place of the inhale pause and this intimate place in the exhale pause. Please complete one more breath cycle. And then bring your hands to your heart. And you can sing with me, Asatoma Satgamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart and release your hands. And I'm going to ask you to turn your palms face up. So yesterday we did this practice in the noon class also. So let me back up slightly. So turn your palms face up, arms out to the side. And we're going to be doing inhale 1/3, inhale middle third, inhale upper third. So it's a 3-part inhale. And then the exhale, arms out, pressing the palms down like this. Okay, so let's try that together. Inhale the first third of your breath. Pause. Now the middle third includes expanding the back of your waist, the back of your ribs. Pause. Then the upper third of the breath, lift up into your heart. And then exhale, press out to the sides of the room. Imagine your inner body going upwards, the spine getting longer, the mind releasing the outside world. So inhale first third. Pause. Inhale middle third. Pause. Inhale upper third. Exhale, press out to the sides of the room. Set the mental chatter aside. Lengthen up through your spine and your inner body. Let's do it again. Inhale 1/3. Second third. Upper. Exhale, press out. Now once more. And pressing out. just take notice. What was your capacity? What was the effort required? What is the inner experience of that? And we're going to use Bastrika now to help expel the unfinished exhales from the night of sleeping. So if you want to pretend that you have a candle out here, you put your finger like this, not necessary, but like you're blowing out a candle many times with a strong exhale like that. And so you can follow my pace so that you don't speed yourself up. Let's take just a little whisper of an inhale and then begin. Now allow the next inhale just to come. And exhale. And try it again. Inhale first third. Middle third. Upper third. Exhale through the nose. Press your arms out to the sides of the room. Now again, Bastrika. So a little hint of an inhale. Let the next inhale just happen. And then deliberately a three-part inhale. Okay, inhale first third. Middle third. Upper third. Exhale. Now, Kapalabhati, breath of fire. We'll be exhaling out through the nose. You can follow my pace so that you don't speed yourself up. Exhale completely. This time, inhale fully to hold the breath at the top. Exhale smoothly out through the nose. Repeating that. Exhale completely. Inhale slowly but completely to hold the breath at the top. Exhale smoothly and completely. Now remembering that at the top of the inhale, when we're having this little pause, we want your awareness to be the most expansive. So let's do 1/3 again, 1/3, 1/3. We'll breathe in through the nose. Inhale, first third. Pause. Middle third. Pause. Upper third. Exhale. Last time in silence. And then just pause to reflect. We will be transitioning to a physical practice, so I want you to rest in the silence that follows that pranayama. If your primary dosha is Pitta, take your gaze downward, relax your throat, and imagine that you're gazing down past the solar plexus into the cool waters of the second chakra. And then we'll prepare for standing practice. So please bring your hands to your heart. Just acknowledge the transition that you're having. And thank the breath for partnering with you. And release your hands and let's come up to standing. And we'll scoot to my other camera. Just one moment, please. Okay, so it's been the full moon, so we're going to be doing sun salutation this morning and moon salutation. And I would recommend that you have 2 blocks in either case for your sun salutation and for your moon salutation. So please come up to standing. I'm going to set this so you can see. I don't want the top of my head to be cut off. I have an aversion to that. All right, so bring your hands together at your heart, please. When you come up to standing, try to notice what is the quality now of your attention, your presence, and your commitment. Having done this pranayama, what is happening now? Come to a light, subtle form of your ujjayi breath, subtle to be more powerful, not subtle to be less present. And listen to how the breath travels up the length of your spine, and you hear the sound with the inner ear. When your next ujjayi inhale begins, energize your feet, legs, and hips. Raise your arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana, look up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Energize your legs so you don't swing your hips backwards to come down to Uttanasana. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Come up to your fingertips on your blocks. Open your chest, heart, and throat. And exhale for a deep bow towards your legs. Once more, inhale, glide forward. Think of the breath as being so smooth, it would not ripple the water of your reflection. Exhale to bow towards your legs. So the reflectivity of the mind is supported by the smoothness of your breath. Once more, glide forward. And then exhale, take your left toes back. Complete the exhale, press into your fingertips to tone the belly. And then inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. And exhale, just press the arms wide so your inner body goes up. Raise your heart, your throat, your eyes. Inhale without interruption, but think of first, middle, and upper third. Exhale, arms wide. Keep the pose steady. Take the arms down, lengthen up through the inner body towards the crown of your skull. And inhale to glide up again without interrupting the inhale, but thinking of first, middle, and upper third. And then exhale, arms wide. Come slowly forward. Inhale, step forward, heart forward. Exhale, right toes back. Step smoothly back. So if you are practicing in a body of water, you would not be causing a big ripple. Inhale, glide up, crescent lunge. Exhale, just the arms changing position. Inhale, float your arms wide and up, middle third, upper third. Exhale, arms wide, not rippling the surface of the water, of the reflectivity of your mind. Once more, inhale, raise your arms. At the top of the inhale, awareness is the most expansive. When you exhale, come forward slowly, remembering at the bottom of the exhale, awareness is the most intimate. And inhale, step backwards. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, forward to plank pose. Arrive in plank pose so your gaze is down between your thumbs. Inhale to cat pose. Make a parachute of the back body as you touch your knees down. Exhale, cow pose. Bring your heart forward. You are up on these two blocks. And when you come to cow pose, then inhale, glide forward, seal pose. Exhale, cat pose. Press into both hands and arms. Glide through to your cat pose. This time, inhale to cow pose. And exhale to seal pose. Slide your shoulders back, raise your heart, open your throat. Inhale to cat pose. Exhale to cow pose. So most of the movement in this back bend we call seal pose should be in the upper back. Inhale, roll your chest and heart up. And exhale, cat pose. This time, inhale just to table pose. Gaze down between your thumbs. Curl your toes under. And exhale, plank pose. Notice the deep low belly. Inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And exhale, right foot forward, left knee down without splashing the water. Inhale to rise. And exhale, just the arms out to the side. Imagine the full moon in the night sky, so happy to reflect the sun. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, open the arms wide. Okay, one more time. Inhale, raise up. And exhale, take the arms wide as you glide forward, touch the two blocks and tone your belly at the end of the exhale. Then inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Without splashing the waters, inhale, rise up. And exhale, open the arms, open your chest, your heart, your throat. Inhale, glide your arms up, raise up through your heart and your eyes. Exhale to open like the happiness of the moon to receive the light of the sun. Inhale, raise your arms. And exhale, arms wide. As you touch the two blocks, tone your low belly. Inhale, step forward and heart forward. And then exhale for a deep bow towards your legs. Repeat that part. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, heart forward. And exhale, Uttanasana. Tone the deep low belly. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to your heart. Now we're going to add warrior two into the sun salutation so that we can get ready for the moon salutation. I'm just going to tie my hair back so I can see you better. Okay, join your hands together and then inhale, Ujjayi inhale. Exhale, chair pose. Sit down slowly so you have a sense that you're not splashing the water about. And the breath, inhale to rise, can keep things smooth between your mind and your body. With this great reflectivity, exhale, Uttanasana. This reflectivity is available to you as it is to the moon in the night sky. Inhale forward. As it is to the surface of the water, reflecting the moon in the night sky. Uttanasana. Once more, inhale your heart forward. Now left toes back. Inhale, rise up. Smooth inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Nice job. So not disturbing the water. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Last one. Inhale to rise. And exhale, windmill your arms over to touch the right block, the left block. Keep the back heel grounded for right now. And with this inhale, just bring your spine into cat pose. And exhale, tone the low belly. So stay in cat pose for a few moments. Remember, at the end of the exhale, awareness is the most intimate. At the top of your inhale, awareness can be the most expansive. So this bit of time we have in cat pose right here, I want you to strengthen the low belly and your arms, keeping all things stable. Now pivot your left heel up and rotate your left hip to face the floor, just the basic lunge. And then inhale, step forward, heart forward. And with your exhale, take your right toes back. Inhale smoothly to rise. So if you were working your practice in a body of water in the nighttime, exhale, warrior two, you would see the reflection of the moon on the water and you wouldn't be causing big ripples. Inhale, raise your left arm. Then exhale to level that off. Keep your left knee pointing straight ahead. Inhale to rise. Lengthen your left inner thigh towards your left knee. Yeah. Exhale, level that off. Keep the right inner arch lifted, please. Inhale, raise your left arm. And then exhale, and as you windmill your arms down, bring your left fingertips to the left block, right fingertips to the right block. And again, keep your legs as they are, but press into cat pose. So try to sense the back hemisphere of your body here. At the top of the inhale, that should feel the most expansive. And on the exhale, try to sense the bottom of the exhale, the most tone in the low belly. Now, keeping everything stable between both hands and your left foot, pivot your right heel up and step backwards to downward dog pose. We exhale, plank pose. Inhale, cat pose. Exhale, cow pose. Inhale, seal pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, seal pose. And inhale, roll your spine to cat pose. On your way backwards to child's pose. Let's keep the hands, please, out on both blocks. And in this variation on child's pose, rest your head between your upper arms so it's floating, hovering. Lift the base of your skull to support that. Now, during the inhale, I'd like you to press your palms firmly down against the blocks and imagine the cat pose spine while you're in child's pose. And during the exhale, tone your low belly and lengthen your thoracic spine. So try to sense during the exhale, you're making a tiny back bend of the upper back spine. Inhale, broaden the parachute of your back body. And exhale, find a little bit of length in your thoracic spine. And then inhale, roll forward to table. Okay, exhale, plank pose. Inhale, downward dog pose. And exhale, right foot forward, left foot forward, Uttanasana. And inhale to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Then exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, so we're going to look at the sun salutation for a few minutes right now, and the moon salutation, moon salutation. This is kind of a made-up thing. I don't know that it happens in India. Actually, we kind of created it here in the West, as far as I know. And when I learned it, it included Anjaneyasana Asana and Ardhachandrasana. And so I'm gonna demonstrate with you. I'll go with you through the whole sequence. It's helpful to have space for your head, that you're not gonna hit your head on the board or the wall. So let's put 2 blocks over here in preparation. And you can check for yourself if you were to step from here to Ardhachandrasana, you have enough space. Okay, and then place your right foot in the front position, place the left foot back. That's gonna be your starting stance. But then we'll do 2 straight legs to begin it. So you know where you are for warrior 2 and start with 2 straight legs. So just a reminder, I would like your hips to be level here, and I have a hip replacement that blocks my ability to level my pelvis here. So I might look crooked, let me show you, like that, because this apparatus in my hip joint prevents me from making the pelvis any more level. So do your best according to your own structure. Join your hands together. Come into your Ujjayi breath. Lift the pubic bone if you haven't yet, so you can sense the openness at the front of the pelvis here. Now inhale, sweep your arms wide, and imagine the circumference of the full moon, that it's filling out this whole sphere that is you. Exhale, bend your right knee, warrior two. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, side angle. Good. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, side angle pose. And exhale, warrior two. This time, inhale all the way down, side angle. Take your right hand to your block. And exhale, left hand to the block, and I want you to find cat pose. Gaze back at your left heel. Then inhale and float yourself forward, Ardha Chandrasana. So now the pose becomes more static, more stable, not a moving pose, but a sustained pose. And you can imagine the circumference that you fill out from your right foot to your right hand, the crown of your skull, left hand, left foot, that entire sphere of energy. Keep your right outer hip strong, press into your right big toe. Tone your right inner thigh. And as much as you're able to, lift your left hip, right, kind of like up off of your right hip. Yeah. Okay, now sweep your left arm past your left ear. And as you exhale, level your pelvis, gaze down, and step backwards to Anjaneyasana. So the left toes come down, your left knee comes down. Here's where you need your cat pose to touch the left knee down lightly. And then inhale to shine up. And we exhale to open the chest, the heart, and the throat to receive the light like the moon does in the nighttime. And then inhale, reach up. And exhale, back to your two blocks. You need your cat pose spine right here. Inhale, straighten your left leg, pivot your heel, and rise up, warrior two. And then straighten up to center. Turn your right foot in. Let's come down to Prasarita to see how things are feeling. So that is one variation on the moon salutation. Down in Prasarita Padottanasana, resume your breath. If it got it all choppy or it got like shorter or chaotic, make it smooth now. So the moon knows the source of light is not its own. And the water at nighttime knows the same when it reflects the moon in the sky. The water takes no sort of ownership over that light. It's acting as the reflector. The moon is the same. That's why Hafiz said, I think it was Hafiz, he said, even after all this time, the sun never stops to say to the moon, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky. And please rise up to standing. And let's set up your blocks on the other side. Check that you're not going to hit your head on something. You know you have the space in which to operate your half moon pose. You just check. And then rise up to what's going to be the stance you'll use like you would for warrior two. Level your hips. You'll see on this side I can level my hips. I don't have an apparatus in my left hip, at least not yet. So here the pelvis is level to start. You lift the pubic bone up, energize both legs, and let's bring the hands to the heart. We too are borrowing our radiance. We're borrowing consciousness, or perhaps it's borrowing us while we're here. When you inhale, sweep your arms wide. You exhale, warrior two. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, warrior two. Good. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, Parshvakonasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. And then inhale, Parshvakonasana, left hand down. You exhale, rotate and press into your cat pose spine. Set your blocks and inhale, parachute forward, Ardha Chandrasana. And try to imagine the circumference that you're filling out here. On the inhale, the breath is its most expansive. So left heel, right fingers. Right heel, crown of your skull. Left fingers, right fingers. That whole sphere. Energize your left leg, your standing leg. And imagine you can lift your right hip up off of your standing leg. So the standing leg doesn't feel like it's burdened by the weight of the pose. Inhale again. And then when you exhale, begin the journey so your right fingertips can come down and you're going to be floating backwards with your right toes, right knee into Anjaneyasana. And inhale, rise up. And exhale to open the pose. Inhale, raise your arms. And exhale, sweep the arms wide, touch the blocks with both hands, and using your cat pose spine so the inner belly is lifted. Inhale, straighten your right leg, pivot your heel, rise up, warrior two. And exhale, palms together. Let's make the feet parallel and come down to Prasarita Padottanasana. This time in Prasarita, please reach around and clasp your hands at the small of your back. Roll your shoulders open. Give a good strong squeeze of your shoulder blades towards your spine. Energize both legs and use the tone of your leg muscles, including your outer hips, also the back of your pelvis and your hamstrings. So you're not right now hanging from your pelvis and the hip joints are not compressed against your thigh bones. This is particularly important if you're someone who has the flexibility for that kind of laxity in your hip joints. Okay, with your next inhale, glide your heart forward, rise up to standing, and then step your feet into mountain pose. And let's just check and see how things are feeling. Noticing what you notice. Okay, now we're going to change that moon salutation to be at the level of the floor. So come down. I would recommend, this is a place where you're going to want a blanket for your knees. I have my other two blankets. I said you're going to need 2 blankets for class. Those are already folded how we want them. So I'll reach for one of these blankets. And I'll fold it in half so it's a little bit more padding. So you're going to come up to both knees to start like this, and then step your right foot out to the side so that this makes a kind of box shape right here. So you have your right shin, left thigh, right thigh, kind of square. So we don't have the right foot in too close. That's not a square. We don't have it out too far. That's also not a square. And this isn't a square either. Start with a box shape like this. Root your tailbone down. Okay, and let's just explore something about opening your left hip flexors before we sail into this moon salutation. So when you take the tailbone down, tone your left butt and press the hip open right at the front side here. Yeah. That little bit of opening that you need right there, I shouldn't say little bit because it's actually significant. It comes from the strength of your left butt to tone. Left femur presses a little bit forward here, and I would like your pubic bone and your pelvis to be level. Then lift up through your heart. Take your right hand against your right knee to press it out, and start making a little back bend in the upper back without having your left butt go to sleep. Right, lift upwards. Roll both shoulders back, including the left one. Yep. And then see if you can look up and keep your balance here. Also keep the left butt toned. And then raise your heart, lift your gaze, come forward. And now start gliding. You can keep your right hand pressing against your right knee so the inner thigh is open. And you are gliding, your knee does go past your ankle, perhaps over your toes. Good. And this does change angle here too at the left hip. So press into your right heel, tone your right leg, tone the left butt, lift up. Bring your torso up, keep the left butt toned, glide to your right. Hello to the inner thighs. Yeah. And pressing your right knee open, glide back to center. Okay, there you are. And then lift the chest and heart again. So the left side of the body is a little bit like camel pose right now. And then roll up. Okay, let's try that on the other side, please. So you're going to bring your right knee down, left foot out to the side, and you can check that you're making a box shape. It could be helpful if you line your left heel up with your right knee. You tone the right butt, so you have to press this kind of little spot right here, but to open it, it's a significant action because with our culture sitting so much, we are a little bit hyper flexed here. So we're looking for extension in your right hip. You press your left hand against your left knee. Roll both shoulders back, keep the right butt toned, and start going upwards. Notice when you start going up, if you lose the tone of the right butt, does it become forgotten? Is it forgettable? So tone again, raise up through your heart. Then bring your torso upright and glide to your left. So your left knee might come out over the toes of your left foot. You may experience this as a stretch to the right groin, right inner thigh. And then glide back, box pose, and then kind of a little bit like camel pose. And then up and glide to your left. Yes. And then glide back to center. Okay, and step your left knee in. And you can come down just for a moment. Okay, so we're going to be doing camel pose to welcome the full moon. We'll come up and we'll do this little glide, and it's going to become even a variation on side angle pose. Then we'll come back up, camel pose. We'll go to the other side. We'll come back up, camel pose. So your hands in camel pose are going to go on your back like this. The fingers are at the top of the pelvis, and they help to pull the pelvic muscles and bones down on the back. So you're really going up through your heart. So you place your hands this way. So let's do it. Rise up, put a block to the right, please. Rise up on your knees. Place your hands like this on the back. Yep. So you might feel like it's a wrist stretch. Hello to your wrists. You root down through your tailbone, energize your butt muscles. Go upwards, upwards through the heart. Squeeze the elbows back. Roll your shoulders back. And keeping your hands on your hips, raise up through your collarbones and look up. Yes, the butt is toned. Squeeze the shoulders back again, squeeze the elbows back. And then exhale, use your low belly to pull yourself upright. Step your right foot out to the side. Place your right hand to the inside here. Glide to your right. Raise your left arm. Good. This is like side angle pose. Glide back up to your starting position. Okay, glide to your right. Exhale. Inhale, left arm up. Glide back to your starting position. One more time, glide to your right. And then staying a while. So this is like side angle pose, but you're only half as tall. So you can take the right arm to the inside of your right knee and place your right hand over the top of your right foot. Even you can cross your hand over to the outside edge of your foot. And keep the left arm long and the side of your waist open. Now, as you sustain your pose, with the next inhale, rise slowly up from here, like you're doing warrior two, but you're only half as tall. And then take your right hand to the block behind your ankle. That should feel quite light. You might even find that your right hand can go all the way to the floor. So your right finger should feel light, whether they're on the block or on the floor. Okay, and let's rise up and step your right knee in. Take your hands to the back of your pelvis like this. Okay, root down, roll up through your heart, shoulders back, elbows back. And exhale, use your low belly to rise up. So this is like kind of unsupported. We say Niralambaya, camel pose. Step your left foot out to the side, please. So second side of the sequence. Yeah. Left hand here. Great. So glide to your left. Raise your right arm. And glide back up to the starting position. Glide to your left. Raise your right arm. Nice. Glide to your starting position again. I know some of you are really feeling that in the right lower back and sideways. Let's glide to stay this time. So you can have your left arm on the inside of your left knee and cross your left hand to the outside over the top of your foot. Notice the strength that's needed in certain parts of the pose and the openness that's possible in other areas. Do not let the right butt go to sleep. The left butt is also there working, but tone your right butt, please. And then exhale, root down, rise up like you're doing warrior two, but you're only half as tall. And then come down to the back side of your left ankle. You can use a block, or you might find that it's light enough to touch the floor. But the left arm doesn't have this big purpose back there. You're really sustained by the inner pose, not by your left fingertips. And then rising up, and step your left knee in for camel pose called Ustrasana. One more time. Okay, so the hands will be backwards. I'll turn so you see the side view of camel pose this time. So hands like this. Then you go up. Very nice. Squeeze the elbows back. Squeeze your shoulders back. Please don't lean your hips wildly forward. This is a pose that goes upwards and then backwards. For anybody who has the reach for it, your fingers can go to your heels. And then bring your hands up to your hips. And as you rise up, set your hips back to your heels. Come to Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose. And reflect again that we're actually borrowing this vitality, this luminosity. I also would like to say it's borrowing us for its expression. So now I'd like you to take this blanket and put it aside. You might want to have it close by for Shavasana, but the other two blankets we are going to be using now under the hips. And I have folded mine like we did for yesterday's restorative class. So these are two long folded blankets like this. See how long that is? And this is where your pelvis is going to be for a little closing sequence here. So when you lie backwards from blankets like this, please lie down thoughtfully. I don't want to hear you crashing to the floor. I don't want you to crash to the floor, but I also don't want to hear it. So when you come down, first start in a kind of supported bridge pose, which means your hips are supported by the two blankets. Close your eyes if you want to. And then pick up both knees. Let your knees come in towards your chest with the support of gravity. Place your hands behind your hamstrings, between your hamstrings and your calves. I'm going to ask you to inhale when you're on the floor. You'll exhale to curl up, and we'll inhale to go back down to the floor. That'll be a controlled inhale, and then we'll exhale like we're sighing. So we go like this. Here's the inhale. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, roll down. Exhale like sighing. Inhale while you're on the floor. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, roll down. Exhale like sighing. One more time. Inhale, roll up. Inhale on the floor. We're going to exhale to roll up. Inhale, roll down. And exhale like sighing. Take your arms out in a T shape. Roll your knees down to your left elbow, up to center and down to your right elbow. Do that a couple times. Your hips are elevated, so you can expect that to feel. Maybe the knees will actually touch the elbow. The blankets, if they're firm, this might feel like a little massage across your sacrum. If your blankets are not so firm, it might not have that sensation, but either way, you are giving some notification to the SI joints and the back of the sacrum that you're inviting there to be a release. Keep your knees snug to your chest as you're crossing over. So if the knees do touch the elbows, they're just lightly touching and then coming back up. See if you can turn your head opposite so your knees are going right when your nose is going left. Your knees cross the center line as your nose does, and then they split again. And then please rise to center, and we're going to touch the toes and heels to the floor and take this little stack of blankets, scooch it right down behind your sitting bones. Take your legs out and come to rest. So what you're going to do, you have the option of taking this extra blanket that we had before, and you can make it like a pratyahara blanket, like this. So you cover the eyes and the ears. That's an option you can decide. You don't need to do that, of course. And I will invite you to close your eyes and come into your Shavasana mode. And let's take the gaze down again as if the pelvis were this basin, this body of water, and you can see the moon reflected in the nighttime on this water. And your eyes can just stay very quietly aware of that. To picture that in your mind is to give yourself a little nudge in the direction of deep mental reflection. Reflectivity, not reactivity. To keep your eyes and your gaze downward in this reflective nighttime moon on the water image. To keep your eyes there is to help your mind also not to wander. Let your body become very still and deeply grounded. As your eyes and your mind stay with this quiet reflection. Allow your body to get a few degrees more grounded, for the eyes to rest on the reflection, for your mind not to wander. And welcome this reflection, this stillness for 1 minute more. Allow the body to become more grounded, a little heavier. For your mind and your eyes to remain still and tranquil in reflection. You may ask yourself in this last period of resting, if the moon is borrowing the sun, and the sun is borrowing the moon to reflect, if the water receives its reflection from the moon, and the moon is borrowing the water for its canvas, what is life asking of you today? You are borrowing vitality and consciousness and love. And those things are borrowing you so they can be expressed in the world. When you're ready to, you may then just gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And please make a thoughtful transition from resting in Shavasana back to sitting. like us to share a few moments of silence or quiet together here. Please bring your hands together at your heart. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. I will come up to visit with you for a few minutes. I have to change it over to the other camera. Hi. Thank you, Angie. How are your hips doing, you guys? You're okay. Those are some moon salutations you might not be familiar with, right? It's different. People make up different ones. Just like the sun salutation can have variations, so too can the moon salutation. You're looking radiant.